Break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here's to VOPTV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti, and you're watching BOPTV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Ika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is.
This is Health Check, your weekly guide to better living, smarter choices, and trusted answers. From everyday wellness to urgent health issues, we've got you covered. Health Check, only on Voice of the People Television, where your health has a voice.
To know the happenings in the maritime sector, join us on the program Maritime Frontiers on VOP TV as we discuss key areas in the maritime sector, from aquaculture, maritime transportation, maritime labor regulation, oil and gas exploration, ferry and passenger insurance, marine pollution and prevention, port operations, and lots more. Maritime Frontiers, exploring Nigeria's blue economy.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Arpillon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the locker room and Voice of the People Television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not going to the talk, please discuss.
And it's Hakim Ziyech who puts the...
In a world where power shakes with every headline.
In a nation full of questions.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
In a world filled with noise, the truth needs a voice.
The policies that shapes our world and the economy that determines our future.
Every hour, every day, the grapevine keeps buzzing. And together, we are committed to telling the stories that shape our world, because your voice is our focus.
Don't forget, our voice matters the most. Let us come together and share our concerns.
Mr. Familoni, and here's to VOPTV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti, and you're watching BOPTV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Ika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOPTV, now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We break in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOPTV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the people. VOPTV. Now you have more than a voice. Well, good morning and welcome to VOP this morning. A beautiful Tuesday it is in the month of January. And today is the 27th day, am I correct? Yes. 27th, yes, so it's the 27th day in the month of January. And we welcome you to VOP this morning. Now let's take you through what the conversation would be for today. Amnesty, well, first of all, we'll be touching on insecurity. Well, insecurity deepens as Amnesty International faults federal government over fresh northern bandit attacks. President travels abroad. Reps splits. Governors cry foul. Civil society demands probe into illegal alteration. That's talking about the tax law scandal. And also, NLC, FCTA staff besiege court as Wike faces removal, demands for his removal. Well, these are the major conversations on our table this morning, and we'd like for you to come along with us as we dissect them all.
Well, good morning and thanks for joining us. I am Chukuma Okoro. Now, he is Moses Humphrey, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I was just asking if I said my name. Okay.
Now, those are the major topics of discussion, but we also have other interesting trending stories that we'll talk about in the course of the program. Jane, good morning.
Good morning. Looking very sharp this morning.
Thank you.
Good morning, Moses.
Good morning to you, Jane.
And thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Now, talking about the other trending stories, in a bold but economical move against the controversial Monday sit-at-home order enforced by separatist groups in the southeast, Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo has ordered the immediate closure of Onitsha Main Market, one of West Africa's largest commercial hubs, after traders failed to open for business despite repeated government warnings. While the governor, who personally visited the market, declared that the shutdown was a decisive step to end what he described as economic sabotage, crippling the state's revenue and livelihoods. The sit-at-home directive, originally imposed by the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB to press for the release of its detained leader, Nnamdi Kanu, has over time become a flashpoint of fear and compliance, with residents often staying indoors to avoid violent enforcement. Well, I think we talked about this a bit yesterday, and at that point, the governor had not ordered the closure of the market.
Yes.
It was yesterday when there was no compliance with his own directive that the market should be open, and the governor now slammed, that closure order on the main market. And I'm like, I was trying to situate it between, I own my business, I want to go to business, I don't want to go to business, and the governor says you must go. Why you force people to go out when they don't want to go out? I understand what the governor is trying to do, to make economic sense of it all. But if you look at the human right angle of it, the freedom of speech, the freedom space angle of it all, I'm not sure that the governor has the right to force somebody to go and do his business where he doesn't want to do his business.
Well, see, this is a very sensitive
It's very sensitive.
But
it's very sensitive. Okay, go ahead. No, you have a point to make.
Land on your thoughts.
No, you have. I will never land. No, go ahead and you have a point to make.
Well, I think I understand what the governor is trying to do, and I think at some point, sit at home needs to stop.
Okay.
At some point.
Okay.
Now, we understand initially a lot of people decided to sit at home, and at some point they were compelled by certain non-state actors. They were compelled. We understand that there were times people decided to come out, and these non-state actors killed people, compelling them to sit at home. If you ask you know, if there is some sort of poll held and people are asked to bear their genuine feelings, I will tell you that a lot of people, some that I have interacted with who stay in Enugu and other places like that, will tell you that, look, they ordinarily want to go out on Mondays. They want to take their children to school. They want to go out. They want to go to their business places. But because of fear that if you don't comply, something might happen to you. You might lose your life in the process. They have come to accommodate that fear, and they are living with it. But for how long will it continue? Now, the man, IPOB says, sit at home. Originally, IPOB said, sit at home would only occur when Nnamdi Kanu is taken to court. Am I correct?
No, that's correct. Yes, that's correct.
But now the case has been decided. There should be another measure to ensure that, look, justice, there should be some sort of appeal. And in appealing, there should be a different measure. It shouldn't be continued sit at home to appeal for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Other measures should be taken. I see what some IPOB-related organization is doing in the abroad, appealing to international bodies, organization and the rest. And just the other day, he was given an honorary citizenship
of the state of
which is good.
Yes.
Which is good. All of this will speak in his favor when international bodies that we have been calling on to come into the matter and, appeal for his release. But the continued sit at home.
Okay, I'm happy that I allowed you to come from this angle. I'm happy that I allowed you to come from this angle. But you said something that at some point, non-state actors, started forcing people to stay at home. Now the people got used to it. That word non-state actors, up until this moment, who are those non-state actors? IPOB at a point said, look, we are not the ones behind the carnage that happens on sit-at-home days. And they were very clear on that. And at a point, we discovered that, look, there might be some form of fifth columnist sponsored by certain governments at certain levels to do all of this. So what the governor needs to do is to find out who are those people that forced people to sit at home when IPOB had clearly said, no, we are not the ones behind it. It is the responsibility of the state governor to do all of that and not to ask people, you must come out, whether you like it or not, when he has not taken care of the fears of the people. That is where I'm coming from. And so when people say, well, and I like the issue of Nnamdi Kanu and the sit at home is a very sensitive thing, like you said, I agreed. And it is very fundamental, to the existence of the people. It is not accidental. Accidental in the sense that, well, people can always survive, but this is about the issue of survival of an ethnic group, of a race, of a people. So it is fundamental to them, and that is why they bought into the idea of the sit-at-home thing. Like I said yesterday, the sit-at-home has started fizzling, out in some parts of the southeast. I think Anambra, for now, is just the flashpoint. So what the governor is doing, and relying on history, when the governor came into office, he tried it, it backfired, it didn't work. So I've expected him to follow another track this time, and he's going back to his old ways that didn't work.
Which is the other track. The other track is following. Then he said, come out. If you don't come out, we'll close your, we'll do things. He tried to force the people out. Now he's following a different track.
No, he's not following a different track. He's still following the same track. You must come out.
If you don't come out, that means you don't want to sell.
My business or his business?
Your business is fine.
So what's his business with that?
Government owns every land.
Okay, so governor can as well come to tell me, okay, you don't have to sleep in your house because you own the house. Because you own... Government owns the market, but the people own the stores.
Yeah, fine. I absolutely agree.
Yes.
But he's saying, look, if you don't come out on Mondays, then you can as well stay home for the rest of the week.
Okay, now...
And then it will be open again on another Monday.
On another Monday.
And if you choose not to come on that Monday, then
let me tell you, the governor is taking a track that will not work. He's going to crumble.
I mean,
it will not. He's going to crumble the economy of Anambra State because there are other angles to it. The people that ordinarily don't have work, in Anambra State, how often has he forced them? Oh, you must go out and get work and get jobs. Has he done that? Has he built industries? People are free to run their businesses. See, the thing is very dicey. I agree with you. It's very sensitive, But if you, like I'm saying now, Chukwu Masoludo, the track is following. Our Igbo people are very determined.
Yes,
they are very determined,
absolutely.
especially Onitsha people and market people. They said, okay, do you know how much it takes every day from the markets? He's going to lose all of that and rely on what? What he got from the Federation account. And before you know it, other markets will start, there will be this kind of sympathy drive, solidarity and all of that. He's going to crumble the business of Anambra State unknowingly. That is exactly what he's doing.
Do you think the Igbo man ordinarily will leave his business unattended for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month?
They have done sit at home in Anambra there for close to
That's
4
1
years.
day in a week.
But close to 4 years.
1 day in a week.
Anyway, let's see how it goes. I'm sure they will.
You're sure they will?
I just feel
they
that
will.
until the governments can, guarantee the safety of
The
life.
safety of the people. So if government
Which is the most important
which
thing,
is the most
actually.
important
This
thing.
move by Soludo for me is just punishing the victims and avoiding accountabilities for the
It's as
perpetrators.
simple as that.
I think that's just it. Once you cannot guarantee the safety of lives and property, I think you pretty much failed. And you don't really have that trust. People won't have the trust. Your people won't have the that
I told you when
trust
Peter
in you.
Mba said, you must come out on Monday mornings in Enugu. He
It
will
didn't
use
work.
the armored personnel carriers to go and protect his own. Well, I keep forgetting the name of that is filling station.
Okay.
And he went and to protect his own business. People say, look at the man that is asking us to come out, and he's protecting his own business with APC and all of that. People understand the intricacies in all of these things, and they will say, well, Governor, if this is what you want, let's see how far you can go.
And the APC you meant there was the armored personnel
carriers. No, not the All Progressives Congress.
Oh, well, let's move on to another conversation.
Okay, let's move on. The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, serving a life sentence at the Sokoto Correctional Center after his conviction on terrorism charges, has issued a stern directive through his lawyer, Naemeka Ejiofor, warning visitors against making public statements or broadcasts about their discussions with him. Kanu stressed that any official communication will henceforth be released only through his legal team or IPOB. IPOB spokesman Ima Powerful. He also dismissed widespread rumors that he collects money from individuals or groups seeking access to him. He insisted that visiting him is not a commercial venture and must strictly follow prison protocols, including proper identification and registration. The order, delivered in a viral video, has sparked heated debate across Nigeria, with critics accusing him of trying to control the narratives around his detention, while his supporters argue that it's necessary to protect the integrity of the Biafra struggle. When I saw this story yesterday, the first thing that came to my mind is, he actually delivered this directive through a viral video. And I'm wondering who recorded the video? How did it come out? But away from that, I think it's a good move for him to control the narrative. Even though I do know that in other climes, most prisoners of conscience actually do control their own narrative. You don't have different people, meeting him, coming out, using it as a clout chasing, which is what is very peculiar in our society. Most people would then go in, see him, come up with, hold their own press conferences, build their own fan base, and just have different things. So Nnamdi Kanu being who he is, I think it's a good move. What do you guys think? I think it's a good move.
Well, you have said a lot. I don't know why people would like to use a man that is in detention, that is in prison, serving a life sentence to gain traction and popularity and all of that. And well, like you said, prisoners of political prisoners like this have a way of controlling the narrative from inside, just like what Mandela did. At some point, Mandela was inside the prison and controlling the ANC. Because the ANC was a very large organization, with hierarchy, command structure and all of that. But he was in prison running the show. Whatever he says, became an article of faith for the African National Congress. And even when people like Bob Sobukwe of the Pan-Africanist Congress, try to alter the narrative, against the ANC and in favor of militancy, because ANC at that time was not really talking about militancy. There was like, Nelson Mandela was that, well, I cannot ask the white man to get on a steamship and go back to Europe. They are already here, but we can live together. But PAC, Pan-Africanist Congress of Bob Sobukwe was like, oh, no, these people have to leave. We have to take control and all of that. And it was a long history, right from the Jan van Riebeeck time of 1648 and all of that. It's a long history. So what I'm trying to say, in essence, is that it's good that Nnamdi Kanu is coming out to say, look, this is what it is. And when they say that he takes money for people to visit him, has it become an artifact or what? Has it become, what do you call it? Is it a United Nations World site or what? How do they call it again? You know, this place that people visit that are
museum.
Has it become a museum or what, that people have to pay money to go and visit him and all of that? I understand that my people, our people, you know, have sometimes tried to, you know, gain popularity by just Nnamdi Kanu must. During the elections, when somebody wants to get into politics, say, oh no, Biafra must, Nnamdi Kanu must, this one, that one. And after that, the whole thing fizzles out, you know. Yeah. So, but 2027 is around the corner. So let us see the cards they are going to play with that. The age of populism, you know, is fast going. People understand now, look, that this thing that they call, what do they call it again? You know, that he's, oh God, on top of my head, I can't remember.
Cloud chasing?
No, not cloud chasing, that I'll remember it in the course of this thing, that somebody has to come and speak, you know, charisma. That the age of charisma is gone, you know. The age of charisma is gone. What people want is, look, what have you done for your people? You are a governor. Nobody is interested in your oratory. You are a member of the House of Rep or you're a senator. Nobody is interested in the grammar you speak. How many roads have you constructed? How many people have you empowered?
But but Mr. Koro, do you really think Nigerians are asking those questions?
No, Nigerians are beginning to ask those questions.
You think so?
Yes, Nigerians are asking those questions. Okay. You know, because the senator that represents me now in the Senate, OUK, when he was governor, he didn't do anything for us, Abia not people. But he has done more as a senator than what he did in 8 years of his governorship. So people are beginning to say, oh, well, we had an opportunity. You had a second chance and you made good use of it. And he's angling to go for another term, even when he had said, look, by 2027, I'll be out of it. But I hear that he is wanting to, and people are saying, well, you have done so well in the period that you served as governor. You know, if you want to go again, we are going to support you. Some people are saying, no, it is the turn of another area of the zone to go. So in all of that, what people are asking for now is, what has Orji done for us? And the scorecard is there. It is visible that people can say it. So no matter how the level of good English you speak, people are no longer interested. Somebody like Enyinnaya Baribe, you know, Enyinnaya has been one populist politician, you know, he's lashes on the Biafran thing and all of that. But when he go to his constituency say, well, we don't know this man. He's not done anything for us, you know, in the past how many years that he's been in the Senate. But at some point, if you mention Enyinnaya Baribe, the average Igbo man will say, well, that's it. That's the man that is it, you know, because what he talks about Biafra, he talks about the Igbo cause and all of that. But that age is gradually fizzling out. That is what our politicians need to understand at this point.
Oh, well, let's get into another conversation now. Also, what Nigerians are talking about. Nigeria's political scene has been jolted by a dramatic realignment in Kano State, where Governor Abba Kabiru Yusuf and 21 members of the State House of Assembly, including Speaker Jibril Ismail Falgore and Deputy Speaker Mohammed Bello Butu, 8 federal lawmakers and all 44 local government chairmen have defected from the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, to the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Now, the move, announced during plenary and confirmed by Governor Yusuf's resignation letter, comes just days after his closed-door meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. Well, Yusuf cited deepening internal crisis and prolonged leadership dispute within the NNPP as reasons for the mass exodus, while the APC swiftly decorated Kano Government House with its flag to mark the takeover. The defection have sparked fierce backlash from NNPP leader Rabiu Kwankwaso, who branded January 23 World Betrayer Day and accused Yusuf of abandoning the Kwankwansiya movement that brought him to power. Oh well, it's politics. It's politics at play, and you know, it feels like with everybody running to the APC because that's where they feel safe. That's where they know that they can contest for elections and not have the courts throw them out. I wonder what we would have in 2027. Already, it feels like it's going to be an easy sale for the presidential candidates of the APC come 2027, because some states are already giving him money to purchase a nomination of interest from Kogi State Governor, and the APC in Kogi State gave him how much now? 100 million. Is it 100 million? About 100 million naira for the nomination of interest form. So, and then it's expected that more states will come in and give amounts in support of 2027 campaign. So President Tinubu, has a free reign come the 2027 election. But for Kwankwanso, Rabi Kwankwanso, I wait to see where he goes to, because he's still, as far as I am concerned, he's still undecided as to where he wants to pitch his tent. Is he going to stay with his Kwankwansia movement? Will his Kwankwansia movement give him the relevance that he needs as a politician going forward? Or will he pitch his tent elsewhere? Will he stay with NNPP, or will he pitch his tent elsewhere? Already there are talks that he might be going to ADC, but until he comes out playing, and then we would know where he's going to. But this is what we have right now in Nigeria, and in Nigeria's political space, and it is heartbreaking, to say the least.
Yes, this is what we have. It is not only heartbreaking, it is frightening, and it is scary, because I don't know where we are headed at this point. And unfortunately, that is what it is. Now, talking about the president having a free rein in 2027, sometimes I sit back and I wonder how we got to this point where we have abandoned governance and politics. And the only thing that we do now is, to talk about who gets into office, who gets into office in 2027. Let's take a scorecard of what we have done in the past 2 years and probably 8 months or so, because by May now, this administration will be 3 years. In terms of policies, well, we have looked at policies, the tax reforms law, tax reforms act, what are the policies? Okay, the first subsidy removal, the infrastructure model, and all of that. Have we really done good as a people in the past 2.5 years? We have a president who is always absent, and anytime he comes back, the first thing he does is to shove one governor, from another political party to his own political party. The man is simply destroying the fabrics of our democracy, whether we like it or not. And that is what it is. Nigeria has not had it so bad like in the past 2 years in terms of democracy. And this is a man who came to office, crested into office as a Democrat right from his Nadeko days. And the only thing the current president has done is to destroy the fabrics of our democracy. And everybody is just sitting back and watching, looking askance, and the opposition, what they do is put up a feeble effort. Some people even believe that members of the opposition are also working for the president.
It's not possible.
Yes.
It's unfortunate because we focus more on money.
We focus more on money. How much is coming? How much is in it for me? And that's what's affecting, every other person in the opposition. Because all of them just want a continued take from the national cake. From the national cake.
And none of them really have any.
From the national
they don't
cake.
have the interest of the people at heart. And it's very sad just to say, just to ride on what you said earlier. And this is a very strategic move, because Kano is not just any state.
Kano is not just any state. It's a swing
political
state.
gold. They have
state.
the numbers, they have the structure. So anybody who can even capture Kano has pretty much won an election. And it's really sad.
At least in the Northwest.
Yes, in the Northwest. And it's even more saddening because we've always feared that we are fast, moving into becoming a one-party state. And it is very obvious. It's just 14
So at last count, he has 29 governors.
So what? How many are left on the other side? It's barely 14 months.
It's a one-party state.
It's one-party state. And look at the level of rascality that we see.
Yeah, it's barely 14 months.
Okay.
And this is already happening. I'm just wondering what will happen a month to the elections. It's really, really frightening, really,
So
really
how many more
saddening.
governors do we have that haven't joined the APC?
Are they up to 6?
We have 4 for the PDP. We have 4 for the
5.
PDP. 4 for the PDP. You have Oyo, Adamawa, Dauda Lawal,
okay,
and Oyo, Adamawa, Zamfara, and there are 4 of them.
Okay.
They are just 4.
And then Alex Oti.
Alex
of the
Oti,
Labour Party.
and Accord Party, in Osun State, and Abga in Anambra State. So basically,
Abga in Anambra State is basically
one leg here, one leg there.
APC.
But before we run to the papers, look at the kind of rascality we see. A governor doled out 100 million naira from where? Who was he before he became governor? Where did he get all that money from? And we say we are practicing democracy. In the Western world, you can't do this. Where did you get the money from?
But Mr.
People will
Okoro,
ask
do
questions.
you even think we can pull up a formidable opposition before these elections come through? Because
Jen,
do you think it's
it's
possible?
it's a different.
We're
It's a
running
long
out
story.
of time
It's a
for
long
newspaper
story.
headlines. Let's leave this conversation. We'll come back to it some other time.
Okay.
Now let's run to the papers. Let's see what the papers have for us this morning. And straight away to the Guardian newspaper. Now these are the headlines here. Residents on brink as rents spike above yearly income in major cities. It's not a small something. People are having to live in Ibadan, work in Lagos, and come to Ibadan and stay days squatting before going back home. That's what we are facing right now. More headlines. DHQ to court-martial indicted officers in coup plot. I think I saw something about death penalty somewhere in one of the dailies this morning. Don't let 2027 politics undermine governance. Sislak warns National Assembly. Tax laws. NEF guard demands probe. Sanctions over alleged alteration. And some other headlines here. Oil spill worsens in Ogoni 1 month after FG's intervention. Adeleke orders APC officials to vacate LG secretariat. And APC tightens grip, sweeps Yusuf Muftwang, Atiku's son, in widening realignment. Yes, Atiku's son has joined APC. 15 million Nigerians consume illicit substances, Maruba declares. Soludo orders 1 week closure of Onitsha main market over seat at home. And those are the headlines there.
And on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune today, alleged coup, military to court-martial 16 officers. Soludo shuts down Onitsha main market for a week over sit at home. Alleged fraud, AGF takes over Ezekiel's prosecution from ICPC. Gunmen abduct school proprietress in Ondo, 3 daughters of Plateau Water Board MD. Oyo at 50, Makinde pledges commitment to securing better future inclusive development for states. With Kano governor's defection, APC now controls 29 states. 36 assembly members, 44 local government chairmen follow Abba Yusuf to party. Shetima to receive Muftang into APC today. Oshu LGAs, tenure elongation illegal in democracy, Adeleke tells APC. Oyetola using police to lay siege to council secretariats, he alleges. APC reacts, denies allegations. No plan to drop Shetima as Tinubu's running mate, the APC saying. Nigeria records first robotic women's gynecology surgery in West Africa. And those are the fronts.
And let's quickly run through the Daily Sun newspaper. Beside the nameplate, Osun LGAs, tenure elongation illegal in democracy, Governor Adeleke tells APC. Accuses ex-Governor Oyetola of using police to lay siege on council secretariats. The Sun Awards, Akaburonye, Kennedy Okonkwo expressed happiness. Now the big story, military opens up on coup plot against Tinubu. With the riders, officers found to have cases to answer will be arraigned before appropriate military judicial panel. That's coming from the defense headquarters. I'll check that again for clarity. Officers found to have cases to answer will be arraigned before appropriate military judicial panels. DHQ, that's defense headquarters. Court-martial of 16 officers to begin soon. More stories from the Daily Sun newspaper. Soludo shuts on the main market for 7 days over sit at home as Anambra closes 54 health facilities over quackery. quackery, whatever. Strike. SCTA workers urged to sustain solidarity as union hails massive turnout in court. Customs surpasses 2025 revenue target by 697 billion naira, hits 7.28 trillion naira again this year. Now, I will take that again for emphasis and clarity. Customs surpasses 2025 revenue target by 697 billion naira, hits 7.28 trillion naira. Yet we keep borrowing. Hearing in final forfeiture suit of UK property linked to Useni Ozokome stalled. AGF takes over Ozokome's trial. And that's it from the Daily Sun newspaper.
And that's it from newspaper headlines. We'll get into the conversation. We'll talk about more of those stories at 10 o'clock when we come your way during newspaper review proper. But in the meantime, let's get into our very first conversation for this morning. Insecurity deepens as Amnesty International faults federal government over fresh northern bandit attacks. President travels abroad. Join us again. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get drum! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television. Don't just react, understand. Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more, tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count. The red carpets. Awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as they hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Well, welcome back and thanks for staying with us. And if you are just joining us, this is VOP this morning. Nigeria's worsening insecurity has once again taken center stage as Amnesty International accused the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration of lacking any effective plan to end atrocities committed by armed groups, warning that the government's failure to protect citizens has emboldened bandits and insurgents. Well, the criticism came on the heels of fresh attacks in the north, where suspected bandits killed 2 people and kidnapped 6 in Kankara, Katsina State, while another farmer was murdered on his way to his farm in Taraba. Communities across the region remain gripped by fear, with residents lamenting that promises of improved security have not translated into real protection. Well, the outrage has been compounded by President Tinubu's frequent foreign trips, with reports showing he has spent 9 out of January's 26 days outside Nigeria, most recently departing Abuja for a state visit to Turkey. Critics argue that the president's constant travels project an image of neglect at a time when insecurity is spiraling, while opposition voices and civil society groups accuse the government of misplaced priorities. Well, we've been joined in the studio here by Prince Francis Chilaka. Prince Chilaka is a political affairs analyst. He will help us make sense of this. Good morning, Prince. Good to have you. And from our Benin outstation, we've been joined by Comrade Roy Oriabo. Comrade Oriabo is an activist as well as a political affairs commentator. Good morning to you, Comrade Roy Oriabo.
Thank you for having me.
Beautiful. And we've also been joined by Mr. Emeka Umabalase. Emeka is a political affairs analyst and commentator. Good morning to you, Emeka Umabalase, and thanks for joining us on VOP this morning.
Good morning.
Beautiful. Now let's get into it. Let's start from the studio. Here we have the Prince. Prince, in the midst of insecurity, our president jumped on a jet and flew out. What's your reaction to that?
Did he just jump and flew out? He went with his Minister for Defense. He went with his National Security Advisor. In other words, your president took the entire security architecture out of the country. So the people are now left to fend for themselves.
The Minister of Defense is there.
The National Security Advisor
is there.
So they went with him.
But the Chief of Army Staff is here.
Who gives
the Minister of State for Defense is here.
Who gives the instructions?
Well, they can get instructions from...
You see, the thing is, like Amnesty said, the government has not shown goodwill towards the fight against insecurity. You see, if this government channels the energy, channels in accepting defectors, asking, bringing governors into APC, and all of that, we probably would have made a headway. But we just have too much talk and little action. And the people have always been left worse than they were from the outset. So yes, I totally agree. The government has not done enough. The government is not doing enough. I mean, it is in this country, you and I, few days back, that 100 and something people were kidnapped and moved. They were moved from 3 churches into wherever they are being kept. And we're asking, was it that there was just a tunnel created that allowed them to go through the tunnel to the hideout of the bandits or the kidnappers? No police, no army, nothing. Are you not worried about it?
Okay.
It simply shows you that even as we sit here, analyzing, we're not safe. Anything can happen. Because the police will be very quick to say they want to deny it. They'll tell you it didn't happen. They'll say it didn't happen.
Okay. Now, Prince, as we talk about all of this, there's something. If you look at the screen now, we're showing the number of people that lined up to see the president. Number 1 is your governor, your state governor, Hope Uzodinma, who is always there, to say bye-bye and say welcome to the president. But in all of this, look, that's Nyesom Wike. People were saying, look, that Nyesom Wike has been benched, but he's there, seeing the president off to Turkey. So clearly showing that, look, well, there are no cracks in the wall between the president and the minister. But the prince, I know you want to say something, but my question is this. In the president's presence, people are killed. In the president's presence, inflation spikes. In the president's presence, we don't have hospitals. We don't have good roads. We are just trying to survive as a people. Our disposable incomes keep sliding, taking a nosedive. And now the president gets out of the country to go and do one thing on behalf of Nigeria. Nigerians say, oh, he has traveled again. Should his absence mean anything to us? Because in his presence, we are still in deep problems.
Okoro, is this thing not laughable, what you just showed on the screen? Is it not laughable? Is it not showing you how mediocre our leaders have become?
But we are the ones that elected. We are the ones that elected these people.
Themselves.
No, they didn't. We elected them.
You elected them. I didn't elect them. This is the height of mediocrity. This is what we used to do when we were in primary school those days. When the president is driving past, they bring us out and give us flag to hold. This is what adults, this is what fathers of people are doing. Are they not ashamed? Are their family members not ashamed of them? This is a wicked that was running yesterday for his life. People have been on strike for how many days? Over unpaid salaries. I mean,
maybe he was running to the airport to go see.
It simply shows you.
Maybe he was not running away from the strike.
It simply shows you that those who call themselves leaders in this country don't have any respect for the Nigerian people. I'm sure you read the press release by Bayan Onuga about the trip. Did he tell you when Mr. President is coming back? Did he mention it when the president is coming back? It simply shows you that you have leaders who do not care what happens to you.
Right. Let's return to the question of the president's absence. His presence and his absence.
His absence is not meaning anything. The president says he has 8-point agenda for Nigerians. Security, food security, employment, all of that. Which one of them can this presidency boast of?
All right, that's
whether
a big
the president
question.
is here or not.
Okay, so Nigeria is on
autopilot. Right now, the country is on autopilot.
All right, thank you very much, Prince Francis Chilaka. Let's take this conversation to Mr. Umar Balasi Emeka. Good morning to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to have you again. The other time we had you here, unfortunately, I think the network did not allow us to have a good conversation, but it's good to have you again. Now, we're talking about insecurity and the president jetting away again after spending about 9 days, first 9 days in 2027. But let's talk about your work with Intl Society. Now, that work, I mean, the story has been all over the place with New York Times reporting what they said, you said. Now, let's give you an opportunity to clear the air on some of those things on this platform, all right? Because I understand you've granted interviews in some other places. Now, your work covering insecurity in parts of Nigeria, reporting death and death of Christians in Nigeria. Some have said that was what motivated the American government to bomb Nigeria. How do you react to that statement, and how do you think this narrative will affect the coverage of insecurity in Nigeria, the reporting and coverage of insecurity in Nigeria?
It is very laughable. Our work did not cause the bombing of Sokoto by the Nigerian military and the United States. It was wrong for the New York Times to have said that. I think New York Times was set out to discredit an existing data that was built years back, starting from 2009 to date. So there is a difference between when a media organization set out to interrogate a data, an existing data, and when another media organization set out to discredit that existing data. I think the work of the job of New York Times, was clearly to discredit to attempt to discredit an existing data. Unfortunately, that couldn't, happen. And then, unfortunately for us too, motive is very, very difficult to be detected. It was after the interview granted to us on 16th of December, after the publication had come out, that we discovered the motive. The thing was well packaged. We didn't know the motive was evil. Having said that, our data on there are so many types of insecurity in Nigeria. In other words, if you are talking about general state of insecurity, which involves a lot, like you just highlighted. But this time around, we are concerned with the insecurity that has to do religious insecurity.
Okay, that's your major focus.
Major focus, religious insecurity, persecution. That is religious persecution. The opposite of religious persecution is religious protection of religious rights or religious freedom. So this time around, we focus on religious persecution, and in that our report, it included both Christians and Muslims. The summary of the report is that in between 2009 and 2025, we have an established data based on in line with international best practices. That 125,000 versus Christians were hacked to date, in addition to 60,000, estimated 60,000 moderate Muslims. They were all killed by Muslim jihadists. So that's the grand finding report.
All right, interesting.
Do you understand?
Yes, absolutely.
New York Times came to, we were on our own when they reached out to us.
Okay.
We resisted. Then eventually they brought in somebody who has been a friend for many years. So we granted them, the interview. So when they came, they pretended, they packaged the whole thing to look at.
What do you think the motive of that interview was? What do you think, from your understanding now, what do you think it was?
The motive we didn't discover the motive from the beginning. But it was when the publication was made that the motive came out. Motive, even as a criminologist, it's very, very difficult for me to sometimes detect the motive behind a relationship. And in this time around, we discovered the motive after the hacked job.
In simple terms, what do you think the motive is or was?
Well, the motive was to discredit our data. The motive was to execute a hatchet job.
Okay, a hatchet job. Okay, now let's add some credibility to the data collected over time, because you've been doing this for quite some time, from 2009, I believe. Now, the BBC has questioned the collation of your data, the methodology with which you collated that and put out the figures that you put out. Tell us quickly how you have been able to collate data, how the process of collating your data.
With my criminological background, data collection is usually divided into many parts, broadly into two. We have data collected through primary sources. We have data collected through secondary sources. And again, most importantly, pinning them down to a particular, a particular activity, that is a crime. For instance, does it have anything to do with a religious crime or religious insecurity? The answer is yes. So we have the two major types of data collection, which I've just mentioned. Even in that primary sources of data, you can never be there to witness everything. You are, even if you move to a crime scene, you are going there to be told a story.
Okay, that of course brings me to my next question. Do you have people that report? Do you have people that
secondary data? Of course, Okay, go ahead with your question.
Do you have people that that you meet and they tell you, oh, this was what happened, this was how it happened? Do you have eyewitnesses? Do you collate their own information?
Of course, all those things are contained in the data you are talking about.
Okay.
Under primary sources, you have people. We deploy our trained staff and field research assistants who go there. Sometimes I even lead as a criminologist, I lead investigative team myself. For instance, between November and December, I think so, yeah, between November and December, I personally made an investigative team to Ezago in Enugu State and a Hamufu in Enugu State, investigating the role of Fulani, jihadist Fulani herdsmen in those areas, and so on and so forth. The other time, I returned from Benue State, and I came back with two young victims, two survivors who survived recent Fulani jihadist attacks. They were part of 4,000 parishioners of St. Michael Catholic Church in Castinala, who were running from Bila to Helter Skelter. They moved to Amadu in Taraba State, and only for Fulani to go there and attack them. So eventually, the Reverend Father Sinemian pleaded, and I took two of them home. As I'm talking to you now, I'm quartering them, feeding them, and all that. So our data collection is divided into two. And I say we have secondary
and
sources.
Primary sources. Yeah, those are the basic sources of collecting data. Yes.
Yeah. So these are the with international practice.
Yeah. All right. Emeka, let me stay with you on the issue because in your opening intervention, you said something like, that you focus on religious persecution. And in focusing on religious persecution, from your studies, from the data you have gathered over time, is there a way you can establish, do you have accurate information that will lead to the conclusion that there is something called Christian genocide in Nigeria?
Of course, there is a Christian genocide. It depends on what, genocide, there is no confusion in definition of genocide. Okay. That is why Nigeria is a state party to the 1948 Genocide Convention. Genocide Convention of 1948. Nigeria is still a state party. So there is no confusion. Unlike terrorism, we still have some challenges in universal in finding a common definition of terrorism around the world. But in times of genocide, there is an agreement, global agreement, and Nigeria is still a state party to it. So there is Christian genocide ongoing in Nigeria. That one is established.
Okay, when you say there is Christian genocide in Nigeria, what leads you to that conclusion? Is it because Christians are being killed by other people?
No, not other people. Christians are big. After all, every person that is killed in Nigeria outside the law belongs to a religion. Okay. If you look at Nigerian government statistics, National Bureau of Statistics of 2023 to 2024, a period of 1 year, the statistics stated clearly, and some say bogusly, that 614,000 Nigerians were killed as a result of insecurity between April 2023 and May 2024. That's Nigerian National Bureau of Statistics report. Okay. Do you understand? So now we have a report, for instance, in Eastern Nigeria. That one talked about general state of insecurity, the role of armed state actors and role of non-armed state actors in killing people outside the law. We are dealing with established rules and protocols under the United Nations and AU system and the international law. So we know that. So it's not just about this.
All right. It's not just about it. Emeka, why I want us to talk about the issue of Christian genocide is that, look, we have people that say, oh, people of other religion, are also killed. So will it be proper to say there is Christian genocide, there is Muslim genocide? Is that the right thing to say?
I don't think there is Muslims are also killed. When you talk of killings on the ground of religion, you also talk of proportional representation and things like that. What percentage of Christians?
Okay, so proportional representation. What you are saying is that the number of Christians that are killed are more.
Are more. And then the actors, who are the killers?
Okay, I'm happy that you brought us to this point. Who are the killers?
Who are the killers? Very importantly, who are the killers?
So from
Are
your
we now
findings,
saying
which people are doing the killings?
For instance, they are most Islamic jihadists. And let me tell you about jihadism. Jihadism is divided into two. Jihadists divided jihadism into two. They believe they believe that even if it is a land is ruled by Muslims, is under Muslim rule.
Okay.
But there are impure, impure. I don't know how to put it. Muslims that seems to be.
All right, Emeka, land on your thought, because there's another question I want to ask you. I would like for you to land.
Okay. Muslims, I mean, the land is ruled by Muslims.
Okay.
But whereby it is found that the people, the rulers and the people over there are not subscribed to, do not subscribe to Sharia and all that. Then it is the belief of the jihadists that those people, even though they are Muslims, should also be targeted to force them to subscribe to the norm. Okay. Then another one is a land not ruled by Muslims. A land not ruled by Muslims. It is believed that the rulers of the land and their people must be subjected. Now,
these are the two types of people that kill. Okay, now, Emeka,
in terms of jihadism is what I'm saying, the two objectives of jihadists. That's what I have just explained.
All right. Now my direct question to you is this. Do you have instances, do you have data, where Christians have killed Muslims in a proportion that will amount to genocide, Muslim genocide?
No. It is not researchable.
It's not researchable. I know, I don't get that. What do you mean when you say it's not researchable?
No. I mean, from the way you speak, you pass through a lot of processes.
Okay, why I ask this question is because we had a guest here who said, look, that some of the people that bear Muslim names and that kill Muslims and Christians are actually Muslims. He gave instances. Some of the people that bear Muslims' names are actually Christians.
Let me also. It is an attempt to push back on something that cannot be substantiated.
All right.
I will give you. There are certain research work that if you want to do, I don't know why you are pretending as if you are not a letter person. I mean, I know you are very, very letter. But let me give you one instance. Not every research and not every university, not every study is researchable. For instance, if you go to your supervisor, assuming you are doing your cases, and you go to your supervisor and assign you to, a particular title, and you say, please, Prof, I want to do my thesis on the number of the killings of Hausas by Igbo people in Nigeria. Do you know the report? The reply, the prof is my friend. We can choose another topic. It is not researchable.
All right then. Thank you very much, Emeka. We'll come back to you. We'll come back to you. We'd like you to just stay with us. Let's get other respondents in as well. We have Comrade Roy Oriabo, who joins us from Benin. Comrade Roy, thank you very much for staying back and for your patience. Well, now let's talk about the narrative where we left off. Now, the narrative of non-Muslims carrying arms. We've seen videos surface online where they would say, oh, if you listen to their accent, the language they speak, the Fufude they speak, or the Hausa they speak is not exactly Hausa. It is they have a Igbo intonation. We've seen narratives like that online. I don't know if you've seen quite a few. All right. So what do you make of that narrative that those that are not from the northern part of Nigeria or those who are not Fulani, are perpetrating some of these killings as well? What do you make of that narrative?
Once again, thank you for having me. I've said it before that Nigeria is an unusual place. There are things that happen in this country. You begin to wonder where we are headed to. Or we are coming day in, day out, year in, year in. We are all lamenting this country. I see the book of lamentation was written because of Nigeria. The issues on ground are very direct. As the last speaker said, there are things that are researchable. You know, you don't just need no records to even prove all those kind of arrangements. We are discussing it now as a result of the failure of the system, the government of the days. Over the years, the government have laid a foundation, navigating towards failure. That's why we are still discussing it. I mean, one of the sister stations yesterday, I told the world that we cannot continue to be lamenting to know who is right, who is wrong. Since the people have taken a decision to help themselves, then they should embrace negotiation. Because if you see a man who is destined to ravage and take your life, if you have any way to negotiate with that person, you have to do that. I believe this is the time for we to be discussing solution, not for we now to continue to be lamenting. You know, now the people need to have engaged. When you were talking just now, somebody, Mr. Koro said that the president has spent about 9 days in this country, is moving ahead. He have to move ahead because even within the system, everybody is overwhelmed. The system is also overwhelmed.
So the president is overwhelmed?
Of course. That's the reason why they cannot give you a solution. Once you can't give a solution, you can't provide solution, you are overwhelmed. Then the people without resort to self-help. And that's the reason why you are saying the sub-nationals, the governors, they are telling you that we want to negotiate. We want to talk with the bandits. And you hear the defense minister saying, don't negotiate, don't discuss with them. You are sitting there in the comfort of your office in Abuja. You are telling the people who reside in the villages not to negotiate. Is it not better for them to negotiate? As we are talking now, is the minister of defense, is in Nigeria? The answer is no. The president is not in Nigeria. Therefore, you are not telling the people who are being oppressed, who are being killed on a daily basis, not to negotiate.
Okay, so negotiating now, is that the solution to the problem? Or
of course, it's the immediate solution.
Negotiating?
Yes, it's the immediate solution. Before you not be
what sort of negotiation are we talking about? Because we have a situation where 177 were taken away from three churches, about 29 million deposit, 29 million naira deposit has been asked for them, which monies that will be used to replace the motorbikes that they lost in that raid. Should that be given to them? Do you think negotiating with them will? I ask again. Do you think that will be the solution?
The immediate solution is negotiation, because it's negotiation. Before the people are demanding for that money, it's because the system cannot longer protect the citizens.
Well, the president is in Turkey, a country that we know has military might, and they have their own issues there as well. But the president of Turkey was in Nigeria in 2021, if I remember clearly, where he met with former President Muhammadu Buhari, and we talked about doing some sort of exchange, getting ammunition from them, security, and all of that. And that's exactly why you have the Minister of Defense and the National Security Advisor accompany the president on this particular mission to Turkey. But when Erdogan visited Nigeria in 2021, he told President Buhari, he was concerned about the presence of a movement, a terrorist organization that they call FETO. I don't know if you've heard of FETO. FETO is a Fetullah terrorist organization, FETO, which basically emanated from Turkey. And he did say that, look, this organization is in Nigeria, and research has shown that that organization is present in Nigeria. It's a terrorist organization recognized as a terrorist organization by OIC and some other Pakistan and some other organizations as well. But in Nigeria, they have not been designated a terrorist organization. And we understand from researchers that they have invested in healthcare, they have invested in education in Nigeria. The president of Turkey is saying that this is a terrorist organization, you should be wary of them. And we are saying, okay, no, we are okay with them because they are not, they are investing in healthcare, they're investing in education. Do you think the president's visit to Turkey this time around will yield any result? in terms of fighting insecurity now?
As I said I said that we can't continue to be lamenting. You know, at least let us paint a picture of hope. And that's the reason why.
Isn't that a picture of hope?
Yes.
Seeking assistance to combat insecurity.
That is the reason why I said negotiation. Negotiation is the primary and immediate solution now. Because let us not be bothered. By the time the president is coming back from his travel, he will be well equipped, well enhanced. He can take it to the secondary level. But at the primary level now, let's do negotiation to secure any persons who's under the incarceration, from those terrorist organizations. Because up to date now, you have seen where governors sitting there telling you that we have to discuss, we have to negotiate with this person so that our people can go to farm. Are you not bothered to sit down and say, why is the governor talking like this? This is the governor who have information, have quality information at his disposal. He's saying it is negotiation that will help us at this material time. You are like that does not have information. Do you know what it said being a governor? Do you know the kind of information that is available on a daily basis? By seconds, by minutes, is getting information. Therefore, if a governor is telling you, let's go on negotiation, take that governor very serious and know how far you have gone down within him to realize that we have to negotiate.
All right, thank you very much.
You are hoping Abuja.
Thank you very
Abuja
much.
may not necessarily come, and the Abuja have never come. Therefore, you cannot now be believing that they will come. But I said, let's paint a very good picture, a picture that Nigeria know their soul. I believe that the president is out of this country. I think today is 28 or 27, as the case may be. He have only spent 9 days in this country, and therefore these are emergency movement. Maybe he will be able, when he's coming back, he will call something reasonable that way. But before he's coming back, let us now do negotiation. I call it primary.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade Roy Oriabo.
People can enjoy their.
Thank you for your thoughts there. Let's bring this to Prince Francis Chilaka. Negotiation, he says. You know, that seems to be the only way. Well, some have said, how about if Nigerians are allowed to carry weapons and defend themselves? Wouldn't that help solve the problem one way or another? Now, that's on one side. As you react to that, the president's recent visit to Turkey, right after they came in 2021, what did we benefit from their coming and bilateral agreements reached in 2021? What should we expect differently this time around?
We all have different ways to look at issues. Just like we have different routes into the market. When I hear educated Nigerians say negotiate, we don't seem to try to understand history. Katsina State has been negotiating with bandits. How have they fared? Zamfara State, that much I know, has been negotiating with bandits. There's something about terrorism that we almost understand. Each time you enter into a negotiation with a terrorist, and he says, give me 50 million, and you end up giving 30 million, and he releases the hostages. When that money runs out, he goes to get another set of hostages. They never stop. It is because of that insatiability that people say, don't negotiate.
But do you understand that budgets being made by states, some of them, the monies that they get, there's a section of it that they set aside for things like this.
How many state governors, Moses, how many state governors have come out to tell you that in their negotiations they pay ransom? How many times has the police agreed that ransom is paid? Even when the family of the victims pay, the police will tell you no ransom was paid. So it's not about, when you say negotiation, I think everybody is just trying to look at where Gumi is
an easy way out.
No,
I think people are looking for an easy way out.
No, how is it the way out? Look at what's happening in Katsina State, where they want to release 70 terrorists.
Would you advise
I'm coming.
A ground raid?
I'm coming.
Okay.
They want to release 70 terrorists back into society. Have you thought about the consequences of that action?
What do you
Have
think
you
the
talked about the
consequences?
consequences?
Let me
of
ask my question.
Those who
What do you
arrested
think?
them.
What do you
No,
think?
I'm coming. Those
What do you
who
think the
arrested them.
consequences
That's what
would
I'm coming to.
be if there is an attack on the camps of the bandits that have kidnapped people and are holding them
There's always
within their
collateral
camps?
damage.
Collateral damage.
There will always be collateral damage. Whether you pay
The victims,
ransom or-
collateral
there
damage
will always be
of the
collateral
victims.
damage. There will be collateral damage. For any society to work, sacrifices have to be made.
More like something has to give.
Something must give way.
Okay.
So we should ask ourselves.
Okay.
What we should be asking ourselves is that all the agreements entered into with bandits in some states in the
What
north.
have they yielded?
Yeah.
My second question about the president's visit. 2021, they were here. Bilateral agreement was reached. 2026 now, we are going there to for another round of bilateral agreements.
We should be asking what came out of the bilateral agreement of 2021. What did we benefit as a nation?
Military support.
Where is the
Supposed to
military
be given.
support? Where is the military support? America is saying they want to give you support. You're running away from the people that are giving you free support. You're going to people who are not even, who also have their own problem. Turkey is also battling with terrorism, you know that.
Yeah, the PKK.
And then you see, when I look at issues, I try not to go two ways. I try not to go tribal, I try not to go religious. But Nigeria situation is pushing people to that point where you cannot but exhibit that tendency of being either being a tribalistic person or being a religious person. You understand? So you cannot run out of it. But the truth of the matter is that when Gumi came up and said, go to Turkey, go to Pakistan, people started asking questions. These are predominantly Muslim countries. What is the agenda?
Muslim countries. But I pointed out here that this same predominantly Muslim countries have come to warn Nigeria about the presence of a terrorist group in Nigeria who are investing in healthcare, education, and they are operating. Some of them have, they are operating legally in Nigeria, and they have come to say these guys are members. They are part of the Gulen movement. They are part of the Fethullah terrorist organization, and you should be wary of them. But
you think the government be wary of such people?
When
the government is not able to provide.
No, but my point these are Muslim organizations.
When the government is not able to.
Don't you think they mean well?
No, when the government is not able to provide what they should provide ordinarily for the people, they align with whoever is providing it, irrespective of what that person's belief is. Have you forgotten? 400 names or 400 and something names was handed over to your former president, your late president.
By a predominantly Muslim nation as well.
Good. What have come out of it?
So should we
Let me tell you the truth. That's why I said sometimes I don't like to look at issues from religious and tribal basis.
Okay.
But if you look at it very well,
All right.
you'll find out that there is more to it.
Okay, there's an
than
nexus
meets-
between
Yes.
them.
All right,
Now,
okay.
Prince, we are done talking about the problems. Now, what are the solutions? If we don't negotiate, what should we do?
Fire for fire.
Fire for fire.
Simple.
Okay.
Fire for fire.
Now, it goes back to the question of Moses.
Because
Do you want us to do ground raids?
Because the people you're dealing with, they have no empathy.
Now, do we
They
have
don't
that-
even care about
Prince,
you.
Prince, do we have that capability to engage these people?
I think we do. We just
Front lines.
the problem we have is corruption. Corruption is the problem we have. It's not that we don't have this.
All right. Before you
we have
run out of time,
do it.
let's move away. Thank you very much, Prince Francis Chilaka. Mr. Umeagbalasi, let me come to you now. Now, what would you advise? I mean, you've gathered data, so you probably have also seen some of these bodies firsthand. You've spoken to those that have been involved in all of this. So tell us, what would you advise to be done? Should we have, frontal assaults, ground raids, or should we, find a way to resolve it, through negotiations and the rest? What are your thoughts? Very quickly.
I think it boils down to political will. The political will is needed. And people have not even bothered to ask a question. How did all this mess, or how did this mess come about, or come upon Nigeria? As of 2015, what was the state of insecurity in Nigeria? As of January 2015, of course, we know we have lived with Boko Haram insurgency. But how come the players, those actively involved in the general state of insecurity in Nigeria, how come their number has tripled or multiplied? Just like somebody was talking about the Tula movement.
Yes.
As of 2014, end of 2014, we have 3 or 4 terror organizations in Nigeria. I think 3 or 4, 5. We have Boko Haram, ISWAP, Ansari, jihadist elements within the Fulani herdsmen. I think which other one again? Nothing. Now today, what is the number? What brought about it? How did they come from? I mean, where did they come from? Who brought them into this culture? Is it correct to say that we have more than 20 terror organizations, digitally and physically operating with linkages or linkage with the territory of Nigeria? You just mentioned Kaduna. What about Ororush? What about Lakanua? What about Ulo Ulo? And so on and so forth. What about JNIM and many other organizations, many other terror organizations? We are there here before.
All right.
Is it not correct? Or is it correct to say that Nigeria has become an epicenter?
All right. Now, quick one. We were talking about earlier in the day. We're talking about unknown gunmen perpetrating evil in the southeast. Who would you say, from your research, are involved in that? Who are those unknown gunmen? Can we put a name to them?
I think the truth of the matter is that there was the unknown gunmen in the east. When we did investigation in general insecurity in eastern Nigeria, we have identified not less than 15, non-state actors or the government state actor link non-state actor and the groups.
More than 15 of them.
More than 15. For instance, we had some elements, these elements within the rank of Niger Delta, former Niger Delta militants.
Okay.
I wouldn't like to mention their name. Their leader, for security reasons, we have jihadist Fulani herdsmen and allied organs. We have a counterfeit Biafra agitators that were, planted to.
Now, even if you don't want to mention the names of their leaders, can you mention the names of the organizations? So we stop calling them unknown.
Niger Delta Mujahideen. Niger Delta Mujahideen militants. Okay. Then you have Niger Delta militants. Niger Delta Mujahideen groups. You have Niger Delta militants. Niger Delta militants. Okay. So to say, you have the Fulani herdsmen. You have allied orders, those who are affiliated with Fulani herdsmen. You have the counterfeit Biafra agitators. You have subversive state actor created subversive elements drawn from security forces. We have the security forces themselves who left their job to get involved in incessancy of killings.
So are they working in synergy? From your findings?
Well, somewhere you have some of them working in synergy. I'm not yet exhausted. You have, what is this one that was formed in 2021? Ebubago.
Okay.
Ebubago also get involved in killing people outside the law. You have the renegades. You have those deviants from the mainstream Biafra.
It seems to me
Biafra.
like an exhaustive list. I mean, you said 15 of them, and you mentioned quite a lot of names.
You have deviants. Let me explain this. Very important. You have deviants for the mainstream Biafra agitating body. For instance, IPOB. You have IPOB deviants. You know, when you give a man, one thing is to give a man an AK-47 assault with munitions. Another thing is to put that man under check. If you fail to put him under check, then you have settled him. He did boy to you, and they have settled him because with that AK-47, he knows how to purchase weapons. You understand? He can use that weapon to get involved in kidnappings. He can transform that AK-47 and his enclave into kidnapping.
All right then. Thank you very much.
Things like that.
We are out of
These
time.
are players who are involved in general insecurity.
We are out of time.
And many
for this.
others.
Okay.
Thank you.
We are out of time. But one more question. 1 minute before you go. You were described as the screwdriver seller. How does that make you feel?
Everybody has a beginning. Yeah, I'm a screwdriver salesman in Onitsha.
Okay.
But with his swag.
With swag?
Maybe from there.
I like that.
With his swag. So maybe from there, I've got my master's degree, I've got my first degree, and all that. So everybody has a beginning. So I accept that. That's what I am.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
It's different from saying that I am a criminal or a kidnapper or this. That means I have a lawful means of livelihood. So I accept that.
All right then. All right, screwdriver seller, Emeka Umeagbalasi. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you, sir.
All right then. Well, that's it on the first conversation. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll be talking about the split within the House of Representatives, within the National Assembly, talking about the tax law scandal and how governors have cried foul. Also, civil society are demanding probe into the illegal alterations. Stay with us as we dive into this conversation.
Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is Africa News on Voice of the People Television. We don't just bring you the news. We analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nations, the economies that drives our future, the cultures that defines who we are, the voice that must be heard. Africa News, Africa's voice, Africa's future. Where Africa speaks, the world listens.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lawn.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
Voice of the people, you can hear me now. My name is Patrick Doyle, and I wish that you continue to echo the voices of the people. Big up VOP TV.
My name is Suibifa Dokubo. Please keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, my name is Kwekumali Ikenda Onyekwena, and I am with the Voice of the People TV. Now, if you're looking for the veritable channel for information, politics, robust discussions, you don't need to go far. VOP has you. VOP will always have you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Patrick Diabwa, aka Ibani Chuka. I'm the Eagle King, and you are watching VOP TV. Stay with us.
2564 is coming up on Burning 9, right? 2564 Atlantic Tower.
What happens in the hush behind hangar doors? Who signs the papers that gamble with lives? Which truths were grounded before they even ever had wings? If you've ever buckled a seatbelt at 30,000 feet, if you've ever stared out of that tiny window and wondered who's really in control of the skies, it isn't just flight, it's power, it's politics, it's pressure sealed in steel. We're peeling back the clouds from runway risks to sky-high secrets. We're diving deep where most dare not to look. Aviation Scope, every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Voice of the People TV. We don't just report, we reveal. We don't just ask, we uncover. Because when it comes to the skies, ignorance is turbulence. Aviation Scope, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the beginning.
In a world where power shifts with every headline,
Thank you very much for joining us again. Now we know what's been going on with in Nigeria with the tax laws, the alterations, and some things were found between when it was presented and deliberated upon and when it was gazetted. Now, gentlemen, we've talked about this quite a lot. Let's just get your thoughts in 1 minute each. Your thought. Well, we do have joining us Adams Atta Esquire. He joins the conversation this morning. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
And we still have Prince Francis Chilaka and Comrade Roy Oriabo also with us this morning. So, in 1 minute, Prince, I beg your pardon, Mr. Atta.
I think the government is not serious and truthful about the law, and that's what we are seeing. You don't just make law and you want to tax people, you want to collect people's money, you don't carry them
directly from their accounts.
Yes, that is wrong. I think it's a wrong notion the government wants to start from, because how will you justify it? Because the first procedure is that these people must account for their earning. How are you going to, without giving them opportunity to present their statement of account? So I don't think it's going to work. You can't just start having access to people's accounts, because it will breach the customer, banker and customer relationship, because the bank would not, they are not supposed to disclose that to the government, except they want to see series of lawsuits all over the Federation.
All right then, Prince Francis, please.
You know why I'm laughing? We keep talking about 419. We keep talking about Yahoo Yahoo. Government is gradually turning into Yahoo Yahoo and 419, because when you begin to access people's account without their consent, that's fraud. Where do you stop? If you're saying that, like Lagos State government is saying that they will now instruct the banks, do you know the implication of that? You can instruct the banker to move 1,000 naira. If they decide to move 20,000 naira, what do you do? So the government is gradually sliding into Yahoo Yahoo and fraud.
All right then. Comrade Roy Oriabo, in 1 minute, please. Let's get your reaction to this.
I was not expecting anything different, because the National Assembly, the way Amana is populated now, they are president, they have the APC have overwhelming numbers. You don't expect anything different. And but when I saw the news, I visited it coming, because The National Assembly, as it's constituted today, have since given up on them. They don't have that internal mechanism to do a thorough job. And that's the reason why the president and the president took them for granted. That's at the time a process was legislated upon. In the process of transition, they were able to utter it. And you see all of them. When I saw them, they were saying we are disassociating ourselves from the minority group. But by my high shame, I expect them to be bothered at what is going on in our own country. At what point? Why is the government on the day? Why is he in a hurry? Why are you in a hurry? Why you cannot work with the National Assembly? Despite the overwhelming number you have, you see when it uttering figures, uttering what decision reach, trying to manipulate a legislative process. Where is the president and the president? Where are they running to? What is the mission of this task regime? What is the potentials? What is going to be the gain at the end of the day if you want to use it to undo the people?
Oh, well, big questions there that you're leaving us with. But let's move away very quickly from that conversation. Let's get to what is going on within the Federal Capital Territory. Now, the industrial crisis rocking Nigeria's capital reached a fever pitch on Monday as hundreds of Federal Capital Territory Administration FCTA workers, backed by the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, stormed the National Industrial Court in Abuja, demanding the removal of FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, chanting solidarity songs and waving placards. The workers accused Wike of high-handedness, poor welfare conditions, and anti-labor policies. Now, the protest coincided with Wike's legal move against the unions as the court fixed January 27 to rule on his application seeking to halt the ongoing strike. The dramatic face-off has paralyzed key services in Abuja, with schools, hospitals, and government offices crippled, while the NLC vowed to resist what it described as dictatorial tendencies by the minister. Well, the crisis in Abuja mirrors wider labor unrest across Nigeria as Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke publicly appealed to President Bola Tinubu to intervene in the prolonged withholding of local government allocations, lamenting that workers are suffering. So, we saw the video, and if we may, let's just have that one play again, so Nigerians will see firsthand, if they haven't already seen what happened in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, yesterday, as FCTA workers protested. Well, there you have it. Staffers of the FCTA protesting poor welfare. All right then. Well, oh well. Let's bring it back to the studio now. Prince Francis Chilaka. We saw. I mean, you follow this. I
saw a video where the strong man was trying to escape. Was trying to run away. It simply shows you that Nigerians are getting it up here. Even the day it will happen, nobody will escape. See, let us be honest with ourselves. Wike thinks that FCT is Port Harcourt or Rivers State, where he can hold the governor to ransom, where he can come into a state that he is not a governor and is organizing rally from one local government to another. Meanwhile, the people where he's supposed to be as a minister, they are suffering. He's running campaign, so to say, for 2027 in Rivers State. With whose money? Is it Rivers people money or FCT? The same person, the same minister that people are agitating and saying, we're not being taken care of. He went to London to witness his son's graduation. So you just have leaders who have no empathy, leaders who are wicked, leaders who don't care. And why do they behave this way? It's because Nigerians have become so gullible. We have taken our sovereignty, we've handed it over to people who cannot manage it. It is high time Nigerians begin to ask questions, begin to hold their leaders accountable. This is the beginning. It will get worse.
It will get worse. Now, Prince, we see the FCTA workers, asking for not their pay anymore, but the removal of Wike. Do you think it's politically motivated?
It's their right. When you're not doing the right thing,
right for to ask for Wike to be
when you're not doing the right thing, the only thing available to ordinary Nigerians is protest.
No. My question is,
because the man has not delivered.
Okay, they are asking for his removal.
He has not delivered. That's why they're asking for his removal.
So do you think that there's a political input?
I don't see any political input. When people are hungry, when people are frustrated, when people are depressed, you cannot be talking about politics.
No, I asked that question because, I mean, we saw local contractors being owed and they never asked for the removal of the minister.
Everybody
we have seen doctors protest. They have never asked for the removal of the Minister of Health.
The reason why they are asking for his removal is that it has become obvious to them that this man cannot perform.
This man cannot perform. Our president told us he are one of the shining stars of this administration.
Your president will tell you that because he's a stooge of your president. He's one of those who made him president. He's one of those. He has boasted about it. So what do you expect? The president must fan his ego. But in truth, let us put statistics before us. If Wike is a performing minister, those working under him will not be complaining.
All right, let's bring this conversation to Mr. Atta here. Mr. Atta, what do you make of the crisis rocking the FCTA administration? Well, we saw a video that looks like they say, oh, the minister is running, but I didn't see the minister run. But we also...
So he went in through the back door.
He went through the back door. You know,
because they were occupying the front. The entrance.
And I think he needed to run to the airport, you know, to go see the president because the president was leaving. I'm not speaking for him, but I'm just making conjectures. Now, in all of this, I want to ask you the same question I asked Prince. They're asking for the removal of the minister. Does it look like there's some kind of political input in all of that? Well, they're asking for, you know, better working conditions. So the removal of the minister, is that going to solve their problem? Or why don't they just insist, well, pay us our salaries and emoluments? Which one? Does it look like there's some kind of politics?
Let me start by saying that freedom is not given voluntarily. You ask for it, you demand for it, and you must showcase sign that you want freedom.
Okay.
So Wike, you want to be in charge. You can't eat your cake and have it. You can't be in Port Harcourt at the same time and then you'll be controlling the affairs of FCT. It's not done. You must concentrate. And that's why you see those people singing Port Harcourt. Abuja is not Port Harcourt, thereabouts. And we have seen that from last month till date, December till date, Wike spent 17 days in Port Harcourt. Abandoned his primary assignment in FCT. How will you describe that? As to whether or not there's politics underneath what we are seeing in FCT now, I don't think so, because we know for sure that Wike and his boss, Mr. President, they're in charge. They control the affairs of FCT. At the point, Wike have to brand himself, his car, as 001 in FCT. Who does that? You can't be operating like a governor, whereas you are an employee of the president. It's not done. He's an employee of the president, even though it's a constitutional appointment. But you must narrow down and understand that FCT itself is the face of our dear country. So for me, I know that as a matter of fact that it is part and parcel of their right to demand for accountability, for good government, and for results. And that is what they are doing. More importantly, that the relationship between Wike and all the staff of FCT is not a private arrangement where you see that the employee will continue to lullaby his or her boss. This is government established, what is it called? Okay. Employment. Is a public...
Let me quickly ask you. Now, he's gone to court to have the courts prevent the workers from continuing on strike, basically compelling them to get back to work. How do you think that will play out?
Well, the case...
I mean, this is not, this is not preempting the courts now. Just giving...
Yes, the matter is slated for judgment or ruling today.
On 27, okay.
27 is today, Tuesday. And then both parties have submitted the argument. You cannot force, what is it called? There's no court that will be setting to make an order to restrain the employees from exercising their rights, which is what they are doing. But what I don't support is the lawlessness, is the anarchy to which they went there to protest, and then they are exhibiting all kind of this thing. I'm not in support of lawlessness. Matter is in court. You are aware that the matter is slated for ruling today. Why not wait and see the outcome of that decision of the court? Okay. It's wrong for them to have entered there and then try to
you spoke from the position of a lawyer. Lawyers don't like, especially when a case is in court. Well, we understand all of that. Now, let's go to Benin City, where we have Comrade Roy Oriabo. Comrade Roy, I would like to ask you, what do you make of what happened in the FCT yesterday, especially according to the barrister, when the case is already in court and had been slated for hearing today, and yesterday they went in, they went to the FCT, barricaded, the offices, and well, from what we gather, the minister had to use the back door and run off and run away and all of that. If our people make use of this kind of track, to get government attention, what does it speak about our freedom space, to express ourselves as a people?
Let me, those who are watching this program, let me inform us that I'm not a supporter of Wike. I'm also, Wike is not my friend, but I was seriously bothered yesterday when the Nigeria Labour Congress were now shouting that calling for the removal of Wike. That means the whole arrangement to be very political. I expect them to maintain their lane. You are on strike over some certain decisions you have reached. You maintain it. Better you are not going political. You remember the Nigeria Labour Congress at the time when he went to Imo State, where he was beaten up, because we are told that he went political. I don't expect the Nigeria Labour Congress to always want to go political. Wike now, at his time now, Wike don't have many friends, especially within the commoners, the people in Nigeria. It's always some bourgeois who are now Wike's friends. Therefore, by the time you know that the tension is already there, and you are saying you are calling for the removal of Wike as a minister, I think that was those who advised them informed them, they were ill advised. And secondly, when I see people as if telling that Wike is behaving as his own one in Abuja, as if he was a governor, let us not be more Catholic than the Pope. The president gave Wike a job. He gave him that position to be a minister of SD. At any time, the president believed that the man is no longer acting according to the directive. I think the president have the right to act. By the time we are now saying that the Wike cannot behave like this, he cannot do this, Wike is an appointee of the president. The president has the absolute power to hire and fire at any time. As of today, Wike remained the minister and the president enjoy him. You showed the pictures just now where the romance we have with the president. That will tell you that they are still on the good page. But I want the Nigeria Labour Congress to be more focused on their job. They must be more focused because this political dimension, they are adding to it. The people will not take them serious. Although yours sincerely have not been taking Nigeria Labour Congress serious for over 4 years, I don't take them serious. I was not surprised with the kind of attitude. If you investigate this matter, don't be surprised that they will also mobilize or be employed by some politicians who are against Wike to come and be showcasing that. And you expect the president to act.
Politicizing.
What none of the reason why you are protesting is you are on strike, it's your right. But by the time you are calling for the removal of Wike, you make it very political.
Someone said in the studio that, he spent 17 days in Port Harcourt, and it shows that he's not paying attention to their own plight. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, but I was going to ask you, but we do have Elvis Elimehele joining the conversation virtually. But let me quickly ask you 1 minute. If you're saying he should be removed from office because he spent 17 days out of 365 days, all right, is that it? Out of 365 days?
No, not per se. At a time that
at a particular time.
At a particular time that you are to be at a designated place where you are assigned, and then you are not there to oversee.
Okay.
And then it's thereafter we are now seeing this.
Should we then ask for the removal of the president, seeing that out of 31 days he has spent 9 days in Nigeria?
No, if he has shown clearly that he's not fit and proper for the job, it's our rights.
But he's trying to look for solution to the problems of Nigeria.
You don't just go around
bilateral agreements.
You don't just go around junketing all over the world. What have we seen so far? Where is the results? List about 3 or 4 of the results.
You think you're not patient enough? Maybe if you're patient.
Patient for how long? We've been patient for the past 10 to 20 years.
But he's been in office for the
No, it's a continuation.
2-3 years now.
He's there to continue what the immediate president left. Okay. So they have the same party ideology and everything.
Okay. All right then. Well, Mr. Elvis Elimehele, good to have you join the conversation virtually. And what's your take on this? The protest that took place in Port Harcourt, the call for the removal NLC's involvement. First it was FCTA workers, and then NLC came in, and and they're asking for the removal. You think it's politically motivated?
Good morning, Moses.
Your broad view. Good morning once again.
Another colleagues in the studio there. Thank you so much. What we saw yesterday is not far from political inclination invited and included into that protest. The protest was quite good. At least they are in court. They want the world to know what is actually going on. But a situation where the minister now the gate was blocked and the minister has to pass through the back door to run out of the office. I don't want them to turn it to violence because they have a case. Even the Holy Book says a laborer is due for his wages. And because of that, they have a case, and they should have just exercised a little bit of patience since the case is coming out today for ruling, and wait for what the judge is going to say. If there were fracas, that would have generated to somebody losing life yesterday, I mean, on whose account will you consider that life to be the loss of that life too? So I wasn't too comfortable with that. It could have degenerated to something else, especially in Nigeria here, where we see that both times when you roll out protests, hoodlums hijack it and it becomes something else. And again, for the person that is involved, for some time now, Wike has been in the news is for so many reasons. Some people will say his busybody has been so much. He was in Port Harcourt for 17 days during the Yuletide. And you remember, even at that time, there was so much tension in Abuja. The former NBA treasurer was killed by one chance, and there was also a nurse who was coming from work that also died through the same one chance. And people were like, where is the minister who is in charge of Abuja that's supposed to have, assist the police to strengthen the security situation of that capital city? But he was nowhere to be found. And all this one have actually been raising the tension because people, the residents of Abuja have been looking for their minister until he concluded that his thank you visit in Port Harcourt. He never deemed it necessary to go back, even when people were protesting in Port Harcourt. Remember, the NBA protested.
What do you think about the running to the courts to prevent the workers from continuing on strike? You think it's stifling the voices of the workers, or you think it's something that should be done?
No. Going to the court, I mean, he's just trying to exercise his rights to that. The court, if the court actually sees that whatever his submissions are all right, the court will judge accordingly. But it's not really to stifle the voices of the workers, because democracy thrives, judiciary thrives in democracy, and we are in democracy. So we should test all facets of whatever we need. We find ourselves so that we'll be able to discharge appropriately. Going to the court wasn't a wrong one. I even see that as a civilized one. Let's also try the judiciary and see where their pronouncement is going to come in this matter. Where I was not comfortable with that, he should not abandon his people in Abuja, and the workers should not take laws into their hands.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Elvis Elimehele. Prince Francis, 1 minute for you, because you've been chuckling. So get it out of your chest.
The thing is, we are too forgetful in this country, and we play too religiously. All of a sudden, people are beginning to have faith in the courts. When we've heard go to court, and we know the outcome of going to the court. When a Wike has boasted to you how he controls the judiciary, the fear of the people, the fear of these workers is the fact that they already preempted what
the outcome of the judgment
would be. So it's not that people don't want to go to court, but highest bidder, that's what the judiciary has become. No matter how we look at it, that is the problem we have in this country today. People have lost faith in the judiciary.
All right, thank you very much, Prince Francis Chilaka. We've also been speaking with Adams Atta Esquire. Thank you very much for your presence. I expect that you stay with us into newspaper review.
Thank you.
And also, Elvis Elimehele joined this conversation virtually. Thank you very much. We will be hearing more from you during newspaper review. And big thanks to Comrade Roy Oriabo also, who joined this conversation. Thank you very much for being part of the conversation. With that on VOP this morning, newspaper review comes up next in about a few minutes. We'll be looking at the headlines from the papers and dissecting it, making sense of it all. I am Moses Humphrey.